Uncharted Lost Legacy is the sister game of Uncharted 4, a smaller, more compact adventure set in the Uncharted world, and the other half of the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, which you can play right now as part of the PS Plus Extra Games catalogue. We're taking a look at the game on PS5. We cover a new game every week. This week we even covered 2, so if you like the video, consider subscribing. And with that, we're revisiting some old friends and letting you know if Uncharted Lost Legacy is worth your time. Uncharted Lost Legacy is the same gameplay package as Uncharted 4. The combat is here, so are the exploration and puzzles. The grappling hook, climbing spike, and all of the polish that came with Uncharted 4 are back. The only new mechanic is this lock-picking minigame, which is used in some interesting ways, like these crates that you can open to get special weapons. For the most part, there's not a lot of new ground being broken here, it's just more of the great gameplay experience of Uncharted 4. That's not to say it's not welcome, the climbing still feels great, and environments are intuitive to traverse, and elements like the grappling hook bridge exploration and combat wonderfully. The stealth mechanics remain fun to play around with, and when everything kicks off, combat has a wonderful flow. Combat arenas are nice and open, and there are even some additional optional objectives if you want to play around in the world more. I also really like that in some sections you don't have to kill every enemy. If you're smart, you can just slip past undetected. There are even a few set pieces here for good measure. Once again, we're not breaking any new ground, and the set pieces here are a little bit less crazy than in the previous Uncharted games, but they are great to play and make for some exhilarating moments. The crown jewel of the game is easily this really open section where you're given 3 areas to progress through, and can pick and choose the order you tackle them in with dynamic puzzles that increase in difficulty. This is a really awesome idea to build upon the Uncharted 4 formula and give Lost Legacy a little claim to fame of its own. In some parts, we do still fall into Naughty Dog's "you'll play it our way" mentality. Like here, this 50 caliber machine gun won't destroy this wall, but this grenade will. Or in this section, you have to kill all of the enemies, rather than being able to creatively sneak past them. Overall though, this is the same wonderful gameplay seen in Uncharted 4, with some added bells and whistles. It easily scores the full 5 out of 5.
Well, nice view.
Despite its smaller scope, Uncharted Lost Legacy manages to have plenty of visually distinct environments for you to feast your eyes on. The whole game is simply gorgeous. We're not globe-trotting this time around, so outside of the first few city chapters, the game does look a bit samey, but it looks fantastic the whole way through. The city is cluttered and dense with bright neon in torrential rain, and it's an environment we never really saw in Uncharted 4. It looks gorgeous. The wilderness of India is open and lush, adorned with beautiful ruins and water that I'm just dying to swim in. The environment design is simply top-notch all around, as is usual with Naughty Dog, and that carries over to the gameplay. It is always easy to know where you need to go and what you need to do. Sound design is fantastic, as is usual with Naughty Dog. Guns pack a punch with every shot, explosions are deafening, and the squelch of mud under your tyres is a little too real. The OST does a good job of adding to scenes without going too overboard. I also like the dynamic ending riffs for combat sections. Character animations are wonderful. In cutscenes, Chloe, Nadine, Sam, and Sav have a great life about them, and it's always a joy to simply watch them act around each other. Once again, the mocap work here is stellar. In-game animations are wonderfully fluid. Everything from climbing to shooting to stealth takedowns looks amazing. There are a few odd physics animations, especially with the grappling hook, but they are still fluid outside of that transitional jank. Menu UI is entirely function over form, and in-game UI is the usual Naughty Dog standard, unobtrusive yet informative. There is never a moment here where I don't have all the information I need at a glance. Climbing sections have no UI, so you can take in the view, and combat sections keep it simple. Overall, we're just looking at more Naughty Dog greatness, or as we like to call it, the full 5 out of 5 for art direction. The only weak link here is the narrative, and even then it's just fine. Chloe returns from Uncharted 2 as our main character, alongside Nadine and Sam from Uncharted 4. Our new villain is Asav, and he is entirely unmemorable. The character interactions are fantastic, as always. Nadine and Chloe make a great team, eventually, but Asav is just such a weak villain, and the overall arc of the story is very predictable. This isn't the end of the world, as I'm not really here for the story. Nate's story was concluded, and I just don't have nearly as much investment in this cast, even though they are still fun to hang around with. Overall, I'm giving the narrative here a 3 out of 5. It's just fine, and does enough to service the gameplay. The great character dynamics are still here, but the characters just aren't at the caliber of Nate, Elena, or Sully. Uncharted Lost Legacy is a solid content offering with some great settings and is technically sound. We played on performance mode on PS5 and experienced no bugs nor noticeable frame drops whilst playing. Content-wise, you're getting a full single player comprising 9 chapters. The game is short, but it is a solid little offering. You do have a lot of bonus content once you've beaten the game: filters, models, concept art, even some cheats. This is a really nice inclusion, and the options here are the same as those seen in Uncharted 4. As with Uncharted 4, there is also a photo mode if that's your sort of thing. In terms of settings, there are a lot of nice tweaks. These are pretty much the same as the ones seen in Uncharted 4. You can choose between 5 difficulty settings. Subtitles can be enabled, but have no further options. They are nice and large and readable in-game, but you have to take them as they come. Game hints, tutorials, NPC marking, threat indicators, and no HUD mode can also be toggled. Crushing difficulty does restrict some of these options. Vibration intensity has a slider, and you can enable the PS5 trigger effects. Photo mode can also be enabled here. Aiming has a slider for sensitivity, and you can invert each axis. There are the same separate options for camera controls, as well as camera and vehicle camera assist toggles. There are a few control presets, and you can toggle to remember shoulder swaps. Sticks and sticks whilst aiming can be swapped. For instances where you need to tap buttons repeatedly, you can choose to tap or hold the button. Aim assist has a slider, aim mode can be toggled between hold and toggle, and lock on aim can be enabled. Finally, there are alternate trigger control schemes. You can view the controls, but there are no remappable controls here. The default controls are nice, and the options you get are a great bonus, but you have to work within Naughty Dog's limitations. There are sliders for brightness and motion blur. HUD can also be rescaled to fit your display. You can enable HDR if your display supports it. Rendering mode can be toggled between performance and fidelity. If your display supports it, you can also unlock the frame rate. There are audio sliders for effect, music, dialogue, and cinematics. You can select your dynamic range and enable mono audio. There are major language options for text, subtitles, and speech. Finally, there are some nice accessibility settings. The ones from the other menus are lumped here, alongside the ability to toggle a persistent center dot and enable lockpick controller vibration. Most settings also have a nice little description of what they do. Overall, this is a quality content and settings offering, if a little lean. You're still getting a solid package that is very polished, but it's not at the scope of Uncharted 4. Still, it gets the full 5 out of 5.
I got it! Ladies! Oh shit!
It took me just over 4 hours to beat Uncharted Lost Legacy. This is a really compact game, but still manages to feel complete. The game is broken into 9 chapters, and checkpoints are very frequent. It is extremely easy to fit this game in around your free time. The bonus content also does a wonderful job of giving you extra reasons to play. You can choose to replay select chapters and combat encounters if there is a section you'd love to go back with. I love this feature. Hard drive footprint is massive at just under 70 gigabytes. This is because you have to install both games that comprise the Legacy of Thieves Collection. You can choose which game you'd like to download first, but you have to end up with both. If you have slow internet, a data cap, or limited hard drive space, you will need to be wary here. Overall, Uncharted Lost Legacy respects your time wonderfully, but unfortunately doesn't respect your hard drive. That install size is a behemoth. We're giving it a 4 out of 5 on our commitment scale. Uncharted Lost Legacy stands on its own. It very much is an extension of Uncharted 4, but that's the exact opposite of a problem. The gameplay here is top notch, and whilst the story isn't groundbreaking, it's still a fun excuse to look for treasure. The only thing I'm left wondering is why we never got more of this type of game from Naughty Dog, just small side adventures in the Uncharted world. I'd happily take a game where you play as Sam, or Chloe again, or Sully, especially Sully. Naughty Dog, where the hell is my Sully Uncharted game, damn it?